Sound theme song introduces another session of Are You a Genius? Presented for American fighters and their allies.
And conducted by the master half-wit, the genius who set record lows in every Army classification test, the star of this show, Eddie Mayhoff. That's me, fellas. Thank you. Are you a genius? This is a simple game. All you need is a pencil and paper and a few right answers and a good bird. I ask a question, and comes music for half a minute or so, and then I give the correct answer. Each correct answer is worth a certain number of points. I'll give you the value of each question as we go along, and your genius rating is your total score. Understand how to play the game now? All right. In this session, we have 6 questions for a total of 100 points. And zip, 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 just like a GI barber, we zam right into the first thing on the list here, which happens to be a question about history. British history it is. And you should all remember the little story that gives the key to the right answer. A famous knight in Britain once threw his cloak down into the mud so that a queen might walk across the puddle without soiling her shoes. Now, for 20 points, what was the knight's name, and what was the name of the queen for whom he put his cloak down in the mud? 10 points for the name of the knight, and 10 points for the queen's name. Yeah. All right. You should have the answer by now, or at least part of it. For 10 points, the knight who threw down his cloak, pardon me, men, the knight who threw down his cloak so that a queen might walk on it was Sir Walter Raleigh. Yep. And for the other 10 points, the queen's name was Elizabeth. If you knew both persons concerned in that query, you are now richer by 20 points. Not many people know it, mostly because I can't get anyone to listen to me, but my ancestors were very well known in British history. Yeah. In fact, my great-great-grandfather was a real knight at King Arthur's Round Table. Honestly, we got a picture of him at home wearing his dueling pants. I think he made the pants himself, because right across the back of them it says Pillsbury. Of course, that was back in the days when knighthood was in flower. Ooh. Did I say that? I'm sorry, fellas, really. All right, and here we are, the next question. This one is about someone on the American stage, an outstanding personality in the theater, and the correct answer is worth 10 points. Here is the question. What comedian who has appeared both on the American radio and stage is known as the Perfect Fool? To tell the truth, he appeared in a musical comedy by that very title. For 10 points, what comedian is known as the Perfect Fool? Well, anyway, I'm all right, and everybody else is nuts. That's the only way to explain it. Okay, the comedian who has become known as the Perfect Fool is Ed Wynn. Yes, sir, Ed Wynn is the right answer to that one. He is the comedian who goes by the name of the Perfect Fool, so take 10 points if that is what you said. You know, when I was young, I wanted to be a comedian worse than anything in the world. I used to go out in the woods all by myself and write jokes in a little book. I'll never forget the day I ran into a polecat and I came home with my clothes on the end of a stick. A couple of weeks after that, the polecat came out of the woods with my joke book on the end of a stick. But I know how he meant it. You know, those things. Well, all right, the next question is about sports. To be exact, it's about horse racing. And to be more exact, it's about the Kentucky Derby. And that's pretty exact. Yeah. All right, let's have the question. All right, here it is. What is the distance of the Kentucky Derby? You guys from down around the bluegrass country should pick up an easy 15 points. Yes, 15 points for this little kid. What is the distance of the Kentucky Derby? You can answer either in miles or furlongs. It makes no difference. All right. Here they go. They're off. Let's see, where are we? Oh, yes, I almost got left in the stretch. Well, here's the answer to that. The distance of the Kentucky Derby is 1 1/4 miles. Or if you said 10 furlongs, you still collected 15 points because a furlong is 1/8 of a mile, and 10 furlongs equals 1 1/4 miles, which is the distance of the Kentucky Derby, and the correct answer. Take 15 points if that was your comeback. I don't know why I never win in those races. Gee, my father told me just how to pick a winning horse. He had it figured out so he just couldn't possibly lose. He used to tell me as he rocked up and down on the porch of the poorhouse. But he really was a good judge of horse flesh. He used to tell me to always bet on a horse that was skinny. I tried it the last time I was out of the track, but I think I must have. I think I overdid it. The horse I bet on was so skinny that when he passed the bandstand with all of those musical instruments, the one xylophone turned to another and said, "There's the one with skin I was telling you about." I didn't care, though. Who wants money? What am I saying? Do that. And here's that ever-loving GI question, men. On this occasion, it gets you 15 points and shouldn't be too tough for anybody if you just scratch those brains. Here it is. What is the highest decoration conferred on a soldier by the United States Army? For 15 points, what is the name of the highest decoration conferred on a soldier by the United States Army? The highest decoration conferred on a soldier by the United States Army is the Medal of Honor. It is awarded in the name of Congress to an officer or enlisted man who, in conflict with an enemy, distinguishes himself conspicuously by gallantry at the risk of his life and above and beyond the call of duty. I bet those are awfully sweet words to hear as the President pins that 5-pointed star surrounded by a laurel wreath on the front of his blouse. Yes, sir. If you said that the Medal of Honor is the highest decoration conferred on a soldier by the United States Army, you have 15 more points to add to your genius score, sir. And once more, gentlemen, we arrive at the high point on this program, the little musical quiz where I play the burpulette and usually lose. On this occasion, the bout will go about 3 rounds. That sound you just heard was the burpulette, and there's nothing to be afraid of. I'm closer to it than you are. All right. The songs you have to guess the names of are all wrapped up in a little story, which I will tell you as I go along. First of all, a boy met a girl, and from the first song title, you will learn where he met her. Okay? Listen. That's where he met her, down by the old mill stream. If you guessed that, the boy met the girl down by the old mill stream. You've got the first 10 of the 30 points awarded for your musical memory. This next tune will tell you what the boy and the girl did next. Yep, that's right. They went strolling through the park because that happened to be the name of the song, Strolling Through the Park. Park is a wonderful thing for making love. Find a nice bench where you and your girl can be alone and you sit there in the dark with your arms around each other, and just to make the scene complete, that great big round red thing comes floating through the trees. You know, the MP. But they're great guys, it says here. Well, anyway, after the boy and the girl met down by the old mill stream and went strolling through the park, they decided to get hitched, and they did. And ever after, they lived happily in a house like this. These valves, they don't cooperate. Yeah, that tune is called Just a Love Nest. But if you said in a little love nest or just plain love nest, you can still take the last 10 points, although you deserve more, of the 30 on this musical question. And here we go on the last quiz item. Here we go. And this is a good question, too. It's not so tough, and so you have to get all 3 parts of it right to snag the 10 points. This is it. If I said to give me, in slang, a color for a guy who was inexperienced, you'd say he was green, wouldn't you? Right. Well, what colors are represented in slang by the following words? Angry, sad, and cowardly. I'll repeat that. Listen carefully. What 3 colors, using slang, are represented by the following words? Angry, sad, and cowardly. Well, I put my own downbeat on the thing. That's all you can do. They don't work with you. All right, here you are, the correct answers, and don't forget you have to get all 3 of them right to garner the last 10 points. The slang word for angry is red. That wasn't tough. And the slang word for sad is blue. And the word for cowardly is yellow. Add 10 points to your total if you said that angry is represented by the word red, sad means blue, and cowardly means yellow. I saw a guy yesterday who looked awfully blue. I was in an elevator with him, and he was the saddest-looking character I've ever seen. Finally, I turned to him and I said, "Excuse me, stranger, but what in the world makes you look so sad?" He looked at me through his tears and said, "Well, the most important reason is that you're standing on my foot." Everything happens to me. I don't know. All right, make with the pencil, add up those scores. If you got the top score of 100, you'll send you to bed with that, send you into that bed that Professor Einstein slept in, and that is if we can get Einstein out of it. Rolling along, another platter in your direction soon, so be watching for it, will you? Thanks a lot. And until then, this is Eddie Mayhoff, the old funnelhead, saying so long and asking you once again, are you a genius? I am. My grandfather was a genius, too. He was the guy who invented suspenders to hold your pants up. In fact, that was the first Social Security. Brother. Are You a Genius? Is produced by the Special Service Division of the War Department of the United States of America.